I'm here specifically to talk about inclusion includes us. I think the thing that I really wanted to get across in this book was that the word inclusion can become too passive. We do that because it's easy to say we're being inclusive, but if we have to think about whether we're actually including a child, that gets difficult because if the answer is no or not quite, then it means that we're excluding the child. I'm hoping people start thinking about what does it mean to include children and what are the barriers they might encounter. And I think of it as the 4 barriers. There's physical barriers, there's informational barriers, knowing who are the other kids, when do things happen, where do I find things. There's attitudinal barriers that sometimes it's fun to be loud or express my joy loudly, or I'm very quiet and shy. And then lastly, there's cultural barriers and that other cultures might do something different than the teachers in the room. I think the other thing that I find really important is that it's important not to think of an either or, that the child is autistic, therefore they do this, or I need to do this. It's to think about the child as a constellation. So what do they do? What things do they really like doing? What things cause them to get overwhelmed? What things causes them to get excited? What materials are great to have around? What materials might cause a danger because they put things in their mouth? Whatever it is. Don't assume that you know the answer or that you read a book and know the answer. Assume that the person in front of you is the expert. So that means the child's the expert, the family's the expert. And you have your expertise on group care that you bring in too, but it's multiple experts. When you start to think of inclusion in this way, it really is this lifelong learning, because I think more than anything, the teacher, why it says inclusion includes us, the adult has to think about who they are. What things do I like? What things comfort me? What things drive me crazy? And then I can think about the children's needs as well, because if I have sensory needs that aren't being met, or I get overwhelmed from certain sensory things, when that's happening in the room. So if I make sure I'm doing other things to take care of the stress I might have from that. Oh, after this, I'm going to read books because that's one thing that just calms me down again. Being aware of yourself helps you plan those things. And honestly, outside the classroom too, knowing not just what triggers you, but then how you calm down and integrate that into your daily life. You can include more people, whether that's in your classroom, in your home, in your personal lives. And I do think that's the most important lesson you can learn.